What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at Team of the Season, Andre Silva. He is the 91 striker and he is playing for Frankfurt in the Portuguese nation. So he is a 4-star, 3-star. He is 6 foot tall, medium with the right foot. We have got outside of the foot trait, which is fantastic. We've got great acceleration, sprint speed not as much. We have whacked an engine on him, which turns him into a 95 rated striker because we've already got 99, 98 and 94 on the positioning, finishing and shot power. So just adding that extra pace, passing and obviously a little bit of dribbling is always going to be wonderful. He'll end up with 95 on the agility and 95 on the balance. We've got great composure, dribbling, reactions and ball control already. And then we've got decent physicals, to be honest. For a striker, great jumping and heading, stamina's up there, strength and aggression above average, which is always nice, and the passing, short pass definitely, and vision and curve is quite nice as well. So let's jump into him. He's going to be an interesting one to see how well he does. He is coming in very cheap. I think he is the cheapest team of the season you can purchase so far, and hopefully we can get him in an untradeable upgrade pack on Sunday. Let's have a look at Andre Silva and see how many goals he can score. Into Andre Silva, and he gets his first goal with a cross. He's managed to get his head in, and it is a beautiful 1-0, and it looks like we're about to get a rage quit as well. Into Andre Silva. Can we find it back into Gnabry? Finds it back into Andre Silva, who's gonna finesse it, but it just isn't quick enough to get past the keeper with this one. Does get the towering header, and he's going to get the rebound. You love to see it. Andre Silva being that beautiful poacher. Great leap in front of the goal there. And then obviously he does get very lucky with that second bounce to make it 2-0 for him. Into Andre Silva from Bailey. We're seeing that run back. Oh, okay. That's poor dribbling from myself. What can we find? He does feel so clunky. It's unreal, which I think we were kind of imagining for 50,000 coins. I expected it. Andre Silva again. Going to look for that pass across. I feel like that's gone far too wrong for Coman there. 1-2. Missed out on the opportunity and doesn't manage to find the pass. Andre Silva so far managing to get some goals, but a little bit lackluster in comparison to the likes of Zapata, Ilicic, who actually did quite well in their opening few games. Into Silva. Honestly, I've been not necessarily disappointed, but a little bit underwhelmed with how Silva actually is in game. I thought he was going to be one of them ones that isn't necessarily amazing. Like, I don't expect a 50k team of the season to be incredible, but you know, when you have a little bit about you, I expected him to be that sort of player, someone who just had that eye for goal. And unfortunately, I think I've missed more shots than scored. He did start off the opening really well with 2 very nice headed goals. As we find him through here, just not managed to get through fast enough. But then after that, it's just been miss after miss. We had literally a second ago a Sabitzer cross, and all he has to do is tap it into the net, and unfortunately hits it wide. So unless he picks it up in the second half, I'm hoping to kind of base my review around that. Hummels with a beautiful interception once more. Like I said, if you get him in the right position, he can be quite a defender. It's just when he kind of has to run, that's where he really struggled. Little dink into Silva. Like I said, he's just not performing for me in the slightest. This is where we need him. Switches onto his left foot. He's just not got the pace to kind of keep up with it, unfortunately. I really do think he is, unfortunately, probably, especially definitely out of the majors, probably the worst striker in terms of team of the season that I've played with so far. Silva again. I think even if I was to kind of put a second striker with him, I've already got Gnabry like really hugging him in terms of kind of being that partner, someone who can kind of pass 1-2 with. So it's not even the fact that he's kind of all alone up front. Like, yes, he may have like the first touch or the first movement on his own, but then he's already got plenty of players around him. Oh, that would have been a beautiful ball to Gnabry as well. That's a cracking ball from Silva. That's much better. We've got Bailey running forward. He's just looking for that opportunity to cross it, and Saint just is going to be there. Oh, good header. Doesn't manage to make the seconds, though. Oh, Sabitzer with the little hit and hope there. So then, in terms of Andre Silva, I'm disappointed. It's probably one of the first team of the seasons that I'm thinking, I just didn't enjoy playing with him. He just really didn't suit my play. Yes, obviously you can carry on and kind of necessarily kind of move the formation, move how he plays. You can kind of mold him into a striker that is more suited, maybe for like a two up front. Personally, I play a 1 up front, but the cam is constantly up there, so it's not as if he's completely isolated on his own. He's always got someone to pass to. That's always a big thing when being on your own as a striker. I don't like having nobody, because it then requires you to dribble and then get lucky with getting around him, make sure that the player's not great at defending. So it's always nice to have that player up front, and Gnabry, every single time Silva touched that ball, there was always one player with him. In terms of kind of what was wrong then, so we went with the engine, which obviously his shooting is already there. He started off really well, 2 headers back-to-back games, and then it just went to pot. He missed everything, literally just could not get any whiff of the ball for him. He was missing chances left, right and centre, and I don't know if it's the stockiness of him, even though he's got great agility balance, did feel somewhat stiff. And when I kind of say stiff, I don't mean that he physically cannot move. It's more, it's not as agile as kind of like what the stats do represent there. So I would look at more of the base stats, and that's roughly what you're going to get in terms of his agility balance. He's got the 4-star skill moves, which is always nice, but being 6 foot, you're not necessarily focused on doing elasticos, rainbow flicks, and kind of Berber spins around everywhere. In terms of obviously him, he's more of a kind of powerhouse striker, someone who's going to use his strength and his size to push forward. It's very much like a kind of like a Ronaldo sort type player in terms of body build, and obviously nation as well, which is always fantastic. But in terms of how clinical he is, for me, he just was not there, and that's what I'm judging on. We played quite a few matches, a couple of hard matches, so I can understand that maybe even if I'd used a Mane freeze, I may not have got a goal, or may have only had to pinch one. But for me, he needs to be making that difference, and unfortunately I think he is straight in the bin for a fodder player. He is coming in at just under 56,000 coins. He is a 91, and more than likely will be thrown around SBCs like no tomorrow next week when we get the upgrade packs. But for me, I'm going to give him a solid 8 out of 10. It's probably the lowest team of the season striker that I've done in terms of just how he was. Maybe if I played another 5 matches with him, he might actually be a little bit better, but we're not taking that risk. We've got to get him out. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Let me know down below what you think about him, and make sure you like and subscribe.